Welcome back to the grind. In this video, we are going to talk about the Verdant tier Hunter and Invoker. First, we will talk about Carrior. I was able to test this dragon and I did enjoy flying him. He's pretty viable against bases. So let's review his spells. First, he has Hunter's Mark, which I know it sucks because Atlas, you cannot use this as well as in the main game, but it is still effective in Atlas, just not quite as good. So Hunter's Mark, a 1 rage active red spell that you place on a tower or monument in regular attacks, and when you destroy it, it heals the dragon for 31% health and restores 2 rage, and then it has a 4-second cooldown once you've placed it, not once you've activated it. Then Gloom Bolt is basically a white Death Gaze type spell that deals a lot of damage and then has a 4-second cooldown, and it only costs 1 rage, which is very nice. Then Engorge, which is a blue 1 rage spell that restores HP on cast and gives 800% increased ammo generation for 2 seconds and has a 6-second cooldown. So this is nice for giving some added additional damage burst. And then Lurk, a white 1 rage spell that cloaks the dragon for 2 seconds. If you let the duration expire, it gives a breath damage bonus for 2.5 seconds and then has a 1-second cooldown. You can cancel this early before the cloak expires. You will miss out on the damage bonus afterwards, but you will be able to recast it 1 second later. So you can use it to blink flak shots. So how I would approach flying this dragon is to load up Gloom Bolt around the corner and then use it to take out probably the blue mage initially, and then that allows you to use Engorge afterwards so you can deal some more increased damage with your breath attacks once you've used Gloom Bolt. And ideally, you can take out the red mage pretty quickly with that increased breath damage from that spell, or from the increased ammo regeneration, I should say. That would allow you to place a Hunter's Mark to gain back some rage as well as health if you take some hits. But if you're able to blink with Lurk, you can avoid a lot of damage while you take out a couple towers and place Hunter's Mark down. By that point, you should have Gloom Bolt active again to either take out a key threat on the far end of the long island or take down another one of the mages to allow you to continue to cycle your spells. So in this clip from the spotlight, you can see Gloom Bolt takes out a couple towers, then use ammo on a tower and use the blue spell Engorge to get a lot of ammo regeneration to take out another tower, and that Gloom Bolt was active again to take out some far targets before cloaking to avoid some damage, and then using that Hunter's Mark to gain back some health along the way, as well as rage to continue cycling spells. So this dragon is actually quite viable, and against defenders, it shouldn't stop them too much because you have a couple ways to avoid, well, I guess you have the cloak to avoid damage, but you can do it pretty frequently if you cancel it before getting that increased damage. And you have a lot of ways to fund increased damage, whether it's Gloom Bolt or Engorge to get a lot of ammo regeneration, or if you let the cloak expire, particularly if you're only destroying 1 more tower, or for farms and mills, you can get that increased breath damage bonus after the cloak expires. And in certain situations, you can let the cloak expire and then use Engorge for the increased breath damage, as well as Gloom Bolt to deal a lot of damage to some towers, as long as you're not going to be disabled and die from a lot of damaging towers after you become uncloaked. Next, we will talk about the Verdant tier Invoker, Makota. And this is a fairly interesting Invoker, but I didn't quite enjoy it as much as I had hoped I would. Its invoke is Dread, which damages towers in a target area and freezes them for 5 seconds. But then it says it has a 3-second duration, so I'm not certain what they ended up going with as far as the freeze duration. I hope it was 5 seconds because I believe I tested 3 seconds and didn't think it was very effective. So then he has Rebinding, which is an active blue 1 rage spell that dodges all non-beam attack towers for 1 second and damages nearby towers for 8% of modified HP. And then it instantly reloads Dragon's Invoke ammo, so a full ammo refill, and it has a 5-second cooldown. And so this is a very brief spell. It's kind of like Morak's I forget what it's called, but that quick spell that reloads the ammo and gives a little brief immunity to non-beam attack towers. Next, he has Shield of Souls, which is a white 2 rage spell that makes the dragon invincible for 4 seconds. And then when the shield expires, it deals marks to the towers, which when destroyed, restore 12% of the dragon's HP. So he has a way to heal back health that way. The problem is maintaining enough rage to continue using this shield to allow you to take less damage as well as gain back health, but he has adaptive flak resist, which you can cycle to gain rage. The other problem is I don't think this shield avoids ice flak super shots, so you have to be very wary of that and try to take out the ice flak first. So this dragon actually has quite a few things going for him: a way to heal back and gain rage, as well as a way to instantly reload ammo and avoid taking damage. So you can see this is the shield where he's not taking any damage, and then it explodes after, and then those buildings now will restore health when destroyed. And he has a way to freeze towers. You can reliably freeze 2, sometimes 3 towers. I just found this dragon a little bit boring, and I'm not sure how reliable it will be versus defenders, but he does have a lot of good ways to deal with different attacks from towers as well as super shots, and use that blink to restore ammo. You can either do it right at the start to take out a couple threats, or you can use it after you use the shield and have time to take out the blue mage. So you have time to do 1 shot on the turn, wait while you're shielded for another refill, use that refill, and then use the blink tower as the shield is expiring. And then after that, you can activate the shield again to avoid taking more damage. So I think it's definitely an interesting dragon that has some potential. I just don't know how it will do against max bases with defenders. And I don't know if it will have the potential to hit up a tier when a new tier is released. But it might be one that is fun and enjoyable to use at the time. And maybe it will be a good way for some players to get into using invokers. Maybe this one is a little bit easier to grasp than some of the other ones, and maybe a little bit more potential than some of the other ones. So if you have bred any of these dragons, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, as well as how they compare to the tier prior. I would also, if you feel like you've got some good videos to share, I would love to see some gameplay of these dragons, and that I could use potentially to share on YouTube with some gameplay, as I'm not able or was not able to record any of the playtest dragons, unfortunately. So any gameplay that you can make for me, I would love to share on my channel to show in more details some of the potential of these dragons or some of the weaknesses, especially how they do against defenders or Atlas runs. So if you did happen to get them this breeding event, congratulations, and keep me in mind while you're flying and potentially recording some gameplay, and I'll see you in the next video.